te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai. Kia hiaki ana te atākura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, ti hei mauri ora. Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Nanaia Mabhuta, the lead negotiator for our Ngāti Maniapoto Treaty Settlements process. I wanted to take some time today to just clarify where we're at and where we're going. It's the most important time that we have as an iwi to think about the challenge of going into a settlement and shaping our own future as we come through the other end. I know it's been difficult and there are a lot of anxieties out there amongst our people. But the most important thing to remember is if we stay together and work together on trying to find a solution to all the historical grievances, then we're better placed to be able to shape our own destination going forward. Our team has been working hard on your behalf to ensure that we have the most strategic approach to ensuring a really good outcome for our whānau. We've engaged with people at a local level, especially around what they want to see in terms of their whenua, those lands that are important to them, kaitiakitanga, being able to exercise that, but also we've listened to people who have talked about their aspirations. One thing's come through. If a Ngāti Maniapoto Treaty Settlement is going to work for the benefit of everybody, people want to know that they're going to be a part of the solution, that we're going to address those issues within Rohe, but also ensure that people who live outside of Rohe can connect back. And connect back in ways that they know who they are and affirm through the work and the mahi that is undertaken by the tribe. When we set out to bring together a strategy for Ngāti Maniapoto and taking the claim forward and going into negotiations, we established 4 pau. The first pau was about kotahitanga, ensuring that we were building consensus across the iwi to take forward our collective aspirations and really keep everybody together as we move forward in this difficult process. The second pau was about te mana o Maniapoto, and that was the way in which the relationship between Ngāti Maniapoto me ōna hapumaha would work with the Crown to establish those types of necessary ways of working together that would ensure the future could continue to help grow our aspirations. The next pau was about te whare o te Nehenehenui, all about us. And that's a way in which we see ourselves participating in a treaty settlement that takes account of our kaitiakitanga principles and our obligations, our responsibilities, the way in which we look after our waterways going out to Kawhia Harbour, the way in which we want to ensure that our tribe has the financial and commercial redress to be able to sustain our economic opportunities, but also the way in which we invest in our people. After all, our people are our greatest asset, and it's really clear from all our statistics that we're a young tribe. Many of us live outside of the Rohe but want to find a way to contribute back. One of the key aspirations that have come forward throughout the iwi is the way in which we provide for the cultural identity of our people. So we should expect to see something in that space as well. The fourth pau is te rohe pōtai, and that really was established by our tūpuna, who in 1883, when they took a petition to Parliament to establish the rohe of te rohe pōtai, there were accords and agreements made between our tūpuna rangatira and of our iwi with other iwi to ensure that we could work together and stay together as a strong, cohesive unit within our area. We're adopting the approach with te rohe pōtai to talk to our whanaunga and our neighbours so we can resolve some of the difficulties rather than have the Crown tell us how to deal with these issues, and we're working through on that process. Many people have asked what part of the treaty settlement process are we at? Well, the Trust Board, having gone through the mandating phase, that's the first part. This part here that we're now in is the agreement in principle phase. It's about pegging out the scope of interest, being able to ensure that on those core aspects of a treaty settlement, we've given enough direction as to what we want to achieve in a treaty settlement. An agreement in principle has a number of components. The Crown apology. Now, it's going to be really difficult for any government to be able to fully compensate for the wrongs that were affected against Ngāti Maniapoto. There will be an apology there. There'll be some acknowledgements around those things that were recognised, those Crown concessions in the Te Rohe Pōtai claims. There'll be an agreed historical account. There'll be cultural redress. A lot of lands that are currently in Crown hands will be transferred back, and there'll be different arrangements around cultural redress. There are a lot of lands under Crown, the Department of Conservation, that are being considered, and some other lands that have been land banked and other portfolios. So there's cultural redress, there's relationship redress instruments. That's the way in which you work with other Crown agencies to help you achieve your aspirations. There's commercial and financial redress. So, and then another key part is the post-settlement governance entity. What will be the new waka, so to speak, that will take our people forward? In order to take your aspirations forward in a treaty settlement, it's important that we have the right conversation, because it's time now for Ngāti Maniapoto to tell its story. We've had a lot of hui with OTS officials, with ministers, the Prime Minister, with technicians and with our own people to ensure that there's as much information gathered as we step through the necessary parts to achieve an outcome. We've heard people say and express that in order for this settlement to work, they want to ensure that their kaitiakitanga and their connection to their rohe, their part of the rohe, is able to be expressed, and we've heard that. We've had a number of conversations with other iwi as well, and it's important to make sure that in going forward to take our aspirations as an iwi, we're working with our whanaunga and our neighbours in ways that we can sort out our differences rather than let the Crown policy divide us. The reason why this is important is because our tūpuna worked very hard to secure the support across the Rohe Pōtai in terms of building our collective aspirations. We want to stay with that approach. Ngāti Maniapoto is the last iwi in Te Rohe Pōtai to settle. So with that brings some opportunities and some challenges. But let's look to the opportunities. We're able to have a look across other iwi and see what they've achieved in their treaty settlement, bring forward some of the best aspects of those settlements and leave the things that we don't think will work for us. I think that that's an advantage. The other advantage is that we can look to those successful components of other treaty settlements around the country and adapt or use them as we see fit. We're talking to people in other iwi and trying to glean as much information as possible from their treaty settlement experience. Why reinvent the wheel when you don't need to? We've also looked to some of the challenges that iwi are facing, and again trying not to walk down a path that we don't need to, and forge a way forward for ourselves. What we've found through this process is it's really difficult. The treaty settlement process is a challenge for many iwi and has been a challenge for many wai claimants who have worked very hard on their claims. Right now there are some people who still don't support this process, and we've said as much as possible we want to ensure that kotahitanga is at the front of our mind as we build consensus and ensure that an inclusive approach is taken. Yes, it is difficult. We don't know when the tribunal will respond, but we'll continue in a way that people throughout the rohe, throughout the iwi, wai claimants or general tribal members will want to participate and contribute to the thinking in terms of shaping our settlement. After all, it's for everybody. I know a lot of whānau have said that there's a lot to take in